I've been a proud rural American my entire life. But the truth is, in rural America, poverty is higher, wages are lower, and jobs are far and few between.
Florida beaches are empty because racism don't pay the bills. Now, those beaches and businesses are empty in Florida, and the business owners are scratching their head. They're like, I don't understand what's happening and why this is going on. This is what happens when you build your entire platform on bigotry and fear. When you spend years attacking immigrants, the very people who visit your state, spend money in your hotels, eat at your restaurants, buy your tacky ass beach tiles. Don't act shocked when they stop showing up. And understand, it's not just tourists who aren't coming to Florida. When you squeeze the working class like a lemon, there is no juice left for joy. You think people got beach money right now? People can't even afford to go outside. And all those Trump tariffs, those weren't on corporations. Those were Trump taxes on us. Prices went up, jobs got cut, and now folks are choosing between groceries and gas, not plane tickets to Clearwater. And y'all made Florida a hostile environment, honestly. And not just for immigrants, but also for black people, LGBTQ, teachers, hell, even librarians. Y'all made the beach a battleground. So now it's just you and those overpriced souvenir stands collecting dust. And now conservative business owners are mad. But they're mad at the consequences of the policies that they voted for. Baby, this ain't karma. This is cause and effect. Conservative policies destroy communities, period. So ask yourself, how long are you guys going to continue to vote against your own business?
Oh, MAGA, you're in trouble. Apparently there's a shortage of workers on the farm. But don't worry, MAGA. Brooke Collins, who heads agriculture, says that she has a solution. Seems like Trump and Brooke Collins have put their heads together and come up with a solution to solve the problem on the farms losing workers. Let's watch the video and see what Brooke Collins has to say to solve this issue.
Score enough. There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
Did you hear that, MAGA? They're saying if you're able-bodied and on Medicaid, you are going to work in the fields. MAGA, this is where it hits you. You're going to work in the fields. And you're going to see what it's like for these undocumented immigrants to come to America and work a hard day's labor in the American fields. Get ready to pack up Mima and Pop-Pop and put them on a bus and send them to the fields, MAGA. That's what you voted for, and that's what you deserve. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comments. Have a day.
And here's another cold hard fact. Beginning with the New Deal, continuing through to the Great Society, and ending just recently with the President's infrastructure bill, the Democrats in both rural and urban America have fought to provide a social safety net that's much needed in rural America while offering targeted incentives to help rural America grow. And our question is, when are conservatives in rural America going to join us in the fight? Hi guys, my name's Will, your favorite rural campaign and elections expert, and let's talk about it. Here are some hard facts we have to come to terms with in rural America. Nearly 75% of the poor living in rural America come from southern Republican states. Both poverty and our dependence on the social safety net is higher in rural America than it is in our cities and suburbs. In every section of America,
I don't care. I don't fucking care. All these videos on this app about how in 3 weeks the grocery stores are going to be empty, good. Fucking let that fucking play out. Okay, take some precautions, but let that shit play out. Farmers on this app boo-hooing because they're losing their farms, fuck all the way off. What did you think was going to happen? Joe Biden bailed you out, then you turned around and voted for Trump. So yeah, I'm glad that all your government grants and bailouts and farmer welfare got taken away from you. And I hope to God a Democrat buys your land and is profitable. Truckers, Oh my God, the amount of truckers on my algorithm right now boo-hooing that they don't have any loads, which by the way, at first is kind of funny. But what? 90% of you voted for this. What the fuck did you think was going to happen when he tariffed the whole world and there was going to be no product to move around the country? Hello? Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm scared to death of the fucking shitstorm that we are all about to fucking walk through. And the longevity of those empty shelves fucking keeps me up at night. But the only thing that keeps me going is that any day it could happen.
What's up, everybody? I hope that you're doing fine wherever you are. I am your presenter, Black Empire, and let's talk about something here. You see, if there are people who wish, like maybe they would, if they can be given time, like if they would be given a wish to make, they would say that maybe if they can be given time to take time back, they wish that they would turn things around or they would make things better. They would make better the decisions and good things, because these are people who have been fooled by by Donald Trump. They have been like lied to, and they believed in whatever the guy was saying, and maybe they thought the life is going to be better or life is going to be good. But at the end of the day, you saw how things happened, and what happened at the end of the day. The eventuality was even more worse. And right now, they don't know where to hide their face. Okay, they're trying to find faults, like they're trying to maybe say the problem is the black community and all that. But at the end of the day, we know decisions were made by them. And at some point, the black community tried to intervene and said, you know, what you're about to do is something very dangerous, and you need to try and think twice. You know, where they say when the deal is too good, you have to think twice. In this case, they never thought twice. They just saw a white person, a fellow white leader who's going to take care of them, who has a color like of them, and who's going to be there for them. And they voted for this person. You see, somebody was writing in the comment section, was saying that trees in the forest, they went ahead and voted for an axe as their leader because the axe was having a handle that is made up of wood. And therefore, when they were looking at the axe, they thought that axe is one of them because of that handle made up of wood. And so they voted for an axe as their leader. Right now, as we're talking, all the trees in the forest are down. No tree is standing. And it's only axe now that can be seen in the forest. But the trees, they're all lying down. So Donald Trump was voted for by the white people, and the reason as to why he was voted for by the white people is because the white people thought we are voting for one of us and we're voting for somebody who's going to take care of us. At the end of the day, things are difficult and things are really, really not working out well with them. Now, everything is bad. The economy isn't favoring them. The cost of the items and products isn't favoring them. The weather is not favoring them. The government that's supposed to be taking care of them is not even taking care of them. It's not even talking. It's not even speaking. The government is just there. The government is focusing on deporting the immigrants and all that. It's not focusing on taking care of the people who voted for them. It's not good for people to suffer. And therefore, every leader out here, they need to be accountable and they need to be responsible for the people who actually chose them. And therefore, right now, people who are white, especially the white farmers in the United States of America, they're really finding it difficult. Things are not happening well. Things are not going well on their sides. They're feeling like they can be given an opportunity to go back in time and do things better, or rather make better decisions, you see. So I want you to take a look at these videos. I'll come back with more thoughts of myself to share with you, okay? So tell me what you think in the comment section. Share with me your thoughts. This is just my opinion. I also want to know what you have to say, what you think about it, about all this situation, about all this issue. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, if you're here and you've not ever been subscribed to this channel, just try and go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Share the video if possible. Press the notification bell. Be the first person to get every episode as it comes in. I really do appreciate it. For now, let's take a look at these videos.
I don't know if it's just me or what, but I was so excited for Trump to get back into office. For what? For what? I mean, prices are still bad. They're rising. Hell, everybody's struggling. I mean, wasn't you supposed to help us? Wasn't you supposed to? But he's not worried about us because, I mean, he's balling. He's rich. He ain't worried about it.
These
prices are way too expensive. Everything is going up every single day. Yeah, tariffs. Yeah, they're supposed to make the country great and bring all this money in, but who pays the tariff costs, guys? American citizens pay the tariff costs. It's not these other countries. It's not the companies. They're just passing the cost and the burden down onto the consumer.
I asked ChatGPT to give me a list of the top 10 most hardcore DJT states. And this is the list that it gave me: Wyoming, West Virginia, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Idaho, Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky, South Dakota, and Tennessee. And I specifically asked for this list because I just want to make sure that I can sleep at night knowing we're all on the exact same page. Until I know that you know how severely impacted these top 10 states are going to be with the policies that are in this big, beautiful bill. This big, beautiful bill is about to blow up rural America. I know I'm speaking to you right now when I say that you know somebody who is on social services of some sort, whether that's a single mom, whether that's an elderly person, whether that's somebody with a disability, or that's somebody who has a diabetic foot ulcer. I know the patient populations in rural communities. I have spent my entire medical career learning from rural physicians in a rural place, okay? And what is happening in the fine print, in the language y'all don't usually speak, because who does? Are things that are going to destroy the livelihoods of so many hundreds of thousands of people in your communities, wreck your economies, rip away resources, rip away opportunities, and leave you in the dust. Even if you're somebody who lives in one of these places that is able to afford life and your family and you don't rely on any government services at all, I want you to consider what would happen if you couldn't utilize those services for your mom, your dad. I want you to imagine what would happen if all of a sudden your child had a crazy accident and you needed a ridiculous amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of durable medical equipment. 29% of the population in West Virginia is on Medicaid. Wyoming, 43,000 people. You got to consider the population of the state as a whole too, okay? So these are large percentages of the populations. Oklahoma, how many people in Oklahoma? Hold on. 25% of the population is enrolled in Medicaid. Medicaid, that's not the senior citizens. Those aren't even the elderly people. Those are the young people, the kids, the young adults, the moms. In Oklahoma, the average income per capita is $58,500. The median household income is $59,700. In this bill, it states that anybody making under, I think it's $50,000, will be seeing an increase in taxes. I'm sure anybody making less than $50,000, no matter what state you live in right now, is having a really hard time. Are you not? So now the plan is not only to increase the taxes that you're paying on the minimal income that you do make, but also remove your access to government services like Medicaid. Why? Because you're an able-bodied young person. You should be able to handle it. Sorry. Oh, we don't believe in college here. It brainwashes you. So we're capping our population's ability to continue to climb those ladders of socioeconomic status by being able to obtain high-paying jobs that provide you with insurance benefits. Those things aren't available if you're working trade jobs. And there's nothing wrong with working trade jobs. That's why we're fine paying y'all's Medicaid. But when you take that away, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Do you know how much it costs to buy diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and pain medicine without Medicaid? It's not just the people of color that are benefiting from these services, and that's what you're not understanding. If you take the population at large, yes, there are a high percentage of people in places like California that are relying on these services, and maybe you don't think that you owe that to them. But if you don't think you owe it to your own community, then you need to look in the mirror. The comments are open to respectful people, but I am a big fan of the block button. All to benefit the person who built his entire campaign by exploiting the very things that y'all care about the most based on your religious beliefs and your morals and your values, being hardworking, pull up your bootstraps, go on, get them, wipe your tears away people. He did that on purpose, and it is so sick. It's so sick because whether...
I think one of the reasons why so many rural people voted MAGA is if you come to a small town, which my family is largely from, you see it's generations of people who haven't done anything with themselves other than be exactly where they are. So they come for entire people, groups of people, ethnicities of people who have done everything they can to be somewhere else. I would probably be a little bitter and jealous too. And I taught my son this weekend, look around you. You'll be able to pick it out. And if they're going to be so good at picking people out and isolating others, you can turn the energy around. And it's crazy that so many people who would be so against so many things, who would probably benefit from some kind of dental care at least, would be so blind and ignorant to whether or not they would be able to get it or other people could as well.
These rural towns, mostly in red states, are really about to be in the find out. First, let me tell you what the Trump administration did with this big, beautiful bill that they think is pretty slick. You see, most of these things with Medicaid cuts aren't going to go into effect until 3.5 years down the line. When is that? When Donald Trump is no longer president. You see, he doesn't want to be able to take credit. He doesn't want anyone to blame him for hospitals closing and people losing their Medicaid. So he delayed everything until he's out of office. And so what he gets to do with this is he gets to say that, oh, all of the things that are happening to these hospitals and with Medicaid and everything, that's all Joe Biden's fault, because my stuff doesn't kick in for 3 years. Then when it were to kick in, if it is to kick in, it's going to get worse. So for the most part, the next president, probably a Democrat, is going to have to come in and overturn all the things that he did just so people don't lose their Medicaid and a lot of these hospitals don't close up. But unfortunately, many of these hospitals are anticipating what's to come, and they're already planning that they're going to have to close up in the next 3 to 7 years. But you have J.D. Vance out there, of course, blaming Joe Biden for everything that's going on right now during the Trump administration, and out here saying that they put in provisions and they put in fail-safes so that rural hospitals won't have to close. Meanwhile, rural hospitals are planning on closing. So let's listen to J.D. Vance with this bullshit talking about they're saving rural hospitals when we know that's not the truth. First of all, let me point out, did you notice when he was saying all the bullshit, all the stuff none of these people have ever heard of, he got no applause at all. So then he decided to go to the Trump card. He went to the card, the ace of spades, which is the racism. He's like, nobody's cheering when I'm talking about healthcare and Medicaid and rural hospitals. You know what? Illegal aliens need to get the hell out of here. We want them out of here. We're getting the Mexican people out of here. And then all of a sudden the racists are like, yeah, because they know that. They understand the racism. That's the part they love the most about Donald Trump. You see, policy means nothing to them. They don't care that their gas prices and grocery prices are still going up. They don't care about that. They care that, one, they think they're owning the libs, and two, the racism. They like the fact that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are as racist as they are. And let me point something else out. He's talking about all the problems during the Biden administration. You know what? If you Google rural hospital closures during Biden's administration, you don't find a bunch of articles about that. But during the Trump administration, you find a bunch of articles about rural hospitals that are anticipating having to close, and it is because of the cuts to Medicaid in the big beautiful bill. That is the only reason. That's the only reason they cite when they talk about their rural hospitals closing. Don't believe me? Here's a video of a news station talking about a hospital closing in their area because of all the cuts to Medicaid. The fact that this administration is trying to claim that this isn't happening when we could easily access the information that proves it's happening right now is fucking crazy. But this is how dumb they know the MAGAs are. And if that's not enough for you, here's another article about 9 rural hospitals in Illinois that are also at risk of being closed, along with a video that talks about how the big beautiful bill is cutting millions of people off of their Medicaid.
As a person that's had MAGA family their whole life, even before it was called MAGA, I can tell you that they have always been able to dish it, but never been able to take it. Not ever. These people are so fucking mean, okay? And they always have been. My father is from deep rural southeast Missouri. I still live in Missouri, but I live in Kansas City today, a stunning oasis compared to the rest of Missouri. But my dad left home when he was 18 to go to college, literally for the reason of wanting to make a better life for himself, because he grew up in a tiny, deep red, incredibly racist, incredibly sexist town with a single mother. So like, he had a lot of this knowledge that life wasn't going too well for them, you know? And his mom tried really hard. She wasn't perfect, but she did her best, but their circumstances were not the best, and he knew he needed to go get an education and go do something else. So he got a football scholarship for his first year, and then he worked to cover the other years. And I think he also got other financial help from other places, but he busted his ass to leave this town, to go to college, to make a better life for now me and my sibling. Like, literally, he knew from that very young age that he wanted kids, that he wanted a family, that he just wanted a better life for himself. You know what my family still back in Southeast Missouri still calls him, to this day, a traitor. They call him a family traitor for leaving Southeast Missouri, for leaving them behind, and they call him elitist because he wanted to go live in the city. He wanted a better life because, you know, we settled in Kansas City, which is a decent sized city. It's not huge, but it's, you know, we've got tall buildings. There's a lot of stuff to do around here. And literally this started from the moment he went to college. They started saying this the moment he left, and he is now 50 years old. And they still say this to him whenever he shows up. And earlier this year, well, actually, I guess it was late last year when Trump won the election, they just fucking started spamming him texts about Trump. And my father was dark woke before dark woke was a thing, because he is on the left, but he will be mean about it, okay? He will spout left-wing talking points in your face with the vigor of a Fox News conservative talk show host. He's not super nice about it all the time, but like they started it and they're also not nice about it, so like who gives a fuck, right? But literally last year Missouri was putting abortion on the ballot. They're putting it on the ballot again next year. Love living in a fascist state that doesn't give a fuck what their citizens want. But it was on the ballot last year. And so my dad, being the good person that he is, was trying to get them to vote in favor of, you know, allowing abortion to be legal in this state. And they literally were like, no, baby killer, blah, blah, blah. Here's some lore about my father. His mom had an abortion before she had him, okay? And they were pulling out that fact, and they were saying like, your mom's a baby killer, your mom, you know, his mom's dead now, by the way. Yeah, she's dead. She can't defend herself. But they just said these things to him just out of the kindness of their own hearts. And I just fucking hate when MAGA acts as if they're all like, oh, we just want to be left alone. We just stop shoving all your stuff in my face. Like, if you would just let us live, we wouldn't bother you. It's like, that's not true. Because you've been bothering and shitting all over my father and us too. Like, by association, like they don't like me or my sibling or my mom really either. We're all city elitists, even though we literally live in a mid-sized Midwest city. It's not fucking New York over here. It's not even Chicago. And they've been so fucking mean to us our whole lives. And I hate it when conservatives get on this app and act like they're the victims. It's like, no, you're fucking not. I know you've been this way to people your whole life. You've always been assholes. My father literally cut ties with a lot of his family this year because they kept just fucking antagonizing him about Trump and texting him about Trump and telling him how they like that the libs get upset when they talk about it, the libs being him, right? And they're his fucking family. Like, he grew up with them. He was actually like close with these people at one time. These are people that helped raise him. And then they decided they hated him when he went off to college, that he was an elitist, that he was a traitor to the family because he decided to go try and build a better life. So I don't want to fucking hear it from y'all. You've been mean, you've been shitty for as long as I can remember, and you can't make excuses, okay? I know you guys. I grew up with you guys.
Guys, fellow members of the Blue Hair Brigade, why are they crashing out over Cracker Barrel now? What did we do? Who infiltrated? The same people that talk about things, people reacting weirdly to stuff. Why are they crashing out over Cracker Barrel? I thought they had Dunkin' and like American Eagle jeans and whatever. Cracker Barrel's not going to get the Bud Light treatment, are they? They're not going to go pew up. I don't know. Like, I'm confused. Who's eaten at a Cracker Barrel recently? I got one next to my house. I ain't been in there. Other than saying you get off at the Cracker Barrel exit to get, off the interstate to get to my house, I really don't think about them much enough to care. This is where they're spending energy? Is it because they didn't have anywhere to eat after they went to American Eagle or whatever? I don't understand what's going on. Does this somehow affect national values, family values. I didn't know family values were in Cracker Barrel. Is it because they can't get the tacky shirts anymore? Or will the PTA moms buy their clothes? Like, what's the deal? I don't know.
All right, welcome back again. Now, I think sometimes we need to respect other people, and we also need to give an ear to the people that we think they do not matter at all. Okay? Now, the white community, I would say maybe I would call them a prideful community, a community that it has a lot of pride in that you can tell them anything, you can speak to them about anything, or you cannot actually maybe you can, let me say, like you can't address them. There are people who feel superior all the times. That a black community or a black person cannot stand before a white person and tells them anything about life or anything about governance or anything that concerns life matters and life issues. They feel like, you know, black people are people who are limited, or black communities are a community that is limited or disabled, and therefore they've always been venturing and building things or building every idea or on their own understanding. In that, when you come and tell them, you know, what you're trying to do is not right, it's wrong. And if you do it this way, you're going to maybe suffer, or you're going to find it difficult, or the situation or results that are going to come out are going to be difficult, or they're going to be unfriendly on your side, they will tend to say, or they'll tend not to accept what you're saying, or maybe they won't listen to you, okay? And for many years, it has been a problem. For many years, the white community have always been living in that manner. Okay? Now, the black community has really gone through tough times in the lands of a white man. Black oppression, racism, talk about segregation, you're talking about the discrimination, and all those kind of things. Police brutality, that these have been just going through difficult times. Okay? In the hands of the police officer, black community have been suffering. In the hands of the government, black community have been suffering. In the hands of the fellow human beings, white people, blacks have been suffering. And all these years, blacks learned how to live toughly, or to learn from tough experiences. Okay? So the black community learned ways on how they can be able to keep themselves despite difficult life, regardless of oppression, racism, or regardless of discrimination, all that. And they survived. They grew up being strong people. They came out being strong kind of people. And therefore, by going through all that, they learned many ways of living and many ways of actually solving problems and dealing with tough and difficult situations. Okay? Now, that's the difference between the black community and the white community. The white community is a community that was given everything. Whenever they want anything, they're given to. Whenever they need anything from the government, anything where they're being given to. They were nursed like kids, like children. And therefore, they grew up having a soft life within themselves. The black community grew up having a difficult life within themselves. Now, Donald Trump comes and says, this is what I'm going to do. He sells his manifestos, his policies. And the black community, because they've been living in this kind of life and they understand whenever a leader speaks in this manner, he simply means this. They came out and told the white community, you know, what you're doing or what you're about to do, it's a very big mistake. And what you should do right now is to get rid of this guy. Do not try to vote this guy into government. But at the end of the day, the white community were not voting for Donald Trump because he's a leader. They were voting for Donald Trump to punish the black community, because Donald Trump and his policies, he was like showing out that he's gonna punish the black community. And because the white community does not even really love the black community, what happened is that the white community felt like, you see, with his policies, Donald Trump and his narrative and his manifestos, he's going to really punish the black community, and that is what we want. So by them voting him to the government, they did not vote for a leader. They voted for somebody who's going to take revenge on their behalf. And you know, see, we are people who have not done anything for the white community. The black community has not really done anything for the white community. And I don't know which kind of a revenge were they trying to take. But at the end of the day, what I know is that the black community is somehow stronger, and they're intelligent, they're the chosen people, and they understand a lot of things. They're talented. Yeah, their way of life is different compared to the whites' way of life. And therefore, I think it's difficult for the white community to understand or to accept the fact that the black communities are always superior. It's only that the black community does not talk. Okay, so by them voting Mr. Donald Trump, they are voting him because they wanted to punish the black community. And at the end of the day, the black community came out and said, you're about to make a very big mistake, because if someone speaks this way, yes, we don't we don't deny the fact that it's going to punish us, or it's going to maybe oppress us or something. But at the end of the day, you need to understand, if somebody is coming out and being clear of how he's going to do for another community or like all those kind of things, you need to understand now that's not, that is his character, and therefore he's going to do it to us. And when he's done with us, he will do it the same to you, because there is white community that are poor and there is also black community that is poor. You see, Donald Trump focuses so much with the rich people in the country. The poor people in the country are not taken care of. Look at what is happening in the United States of America. America has poverty everywhere. It is not that the mainstream media cannot be able to show. And Donald Trump would come out and say, oh, you know, I'm the best president in the world. I want to bring peace to all the countries and all that. Himself, in his country, there is no peace. And he has not been able to do that. Now, what am I saying? What I'm saying is that the black community won the white community over this guy, because they knew if it is going to happen to us, the same thing might happen to you. And you know, we are used to it. You're going to cry because you're not used to it. They warned them. They did not listen. Right now, they're complaining. Right now, they're even asking the black community to come out and help them so they can be able to fight their wars. There was a time the black community used to go on the road and demonstrate, and nobody cared. They used to carry placards, yeah, complaining and actually trying to cry for their lives and for their rights every other time. But the white community was just sitting somewhere and they didn't do anything. They never even bothered if these people were like feeling bad or something. They even mocked them. Right now, they're finding it so difficult. And now that they do not have use and they don't have skills on how to survive and all that, they find it so difficult. And therefore, they want the black community to help them fight this. They want the black community to help them cry for the government to help them. The black community says, we cannot do such kind of a thing. You fight your wars and fight your battles yourself, because we ourselves, we used to fight our battles ourselves. So you fight your wars yourself. That is what the black community is actually telling the white community. And I think the white community is learning something. Maybe in future, they're not going to make same kind of mistakes. Now to the government should understand that people need to be taken care of, because if it's a democratic country, then power belongs to the people. Don't let people suffer. These are human beings and they shouldn't be crying. They shouldn't be walking everywhere crying and complaining over things like this one. Take care of the people and help them, because when they voted for you, they wanted you to be part of them, to be their helper, to be their friend. Therefore, what we need to do is to make sure people don't cry and people don't suffer. I'm not siding with the government that is oppressing people. I'm not siding with the government that is not taking care of people. What I'm against is the people who also don't like other people, or people making decisions because they want to punish other people or to make other people feel bad. That is what I'm against, which is very right. Even you would be against that, okay? So my white community might be facing things that they started themselves. But remember, they're put in this group who are good-hearted and they're going through the same kind of things. Therefore, the government should be held accountable and it should be responsible to take care of people and all that. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'll do my best to make sure I read the comments and give a response where possible. I am the Black Empire. Thanks for watching. Welcome back again.